Welcome to the Warning Track Power Hour. I am Dr. Andrew Scaff. He is Dr. Michael Werman, Esquire. On today's show, we'll talk a little bit about the Kansas City Royals and their maybe slight bounce back from their uh, dregs of the season where they were last week, anyway. We'll be talking about the NBA and NHL finals games, which are still in progress. We'll be checking in on the NHL's game four, which is happening as we're recording this right now. We'll talk a little bit about our World Cup preview, maybe a little bit of horse racing along the way. But we'll also start today with a little bit of NFL offseason news. Kansas City Chiefs had a maybe important signing this last week with the L'Jarius Sneed now returning to Kansas City. Mike, does this move the needle for you for interest in the Chiefs offseason? Adding a former Chiefs veteran back to the defense.
Well, I think if Snead can, he didn't play particularly well. His 2 years he was gone. He went to Tennessee, got traded there. He had two kind of injury-filled seasons. He only played about 12 games total, so he was kind of a shell of his former self in Tennessee. If he could recover and get back to his original form for the Chiefs, that's a really big help because it would, I think, Snead was as good as McDuffie was like when they're both kind of in their primes. I think they're both really high level cornerbacks. So
Yeah,
that would go a long way to replacing McDuffie his absence, I
correct.
think. So um, and Jalen Watson, of course. So it seems like the Chiefs' cornerback room because they got Delane, the draft pick, and Snead comes back. If Christian Fulton, Noel Williams kind of picks things up. It seems like they have a lot of options now at cornerback. So I feel better about their cornerback room. Maybe safety is still a little bit of a weak spot, but it seems like they've got quite a big secondary to choose from. Maybe Snead could also play a little bit of safety. He did that in college, so if necessary. So yeah, if at least if Snead is anything approaching what he was when he was with Kansas City the first time, I think that's a really good move. Maybe he just needed to change of scenery, um, get back in Spag's system, and yeah. What do you think of the Snead pickup?
Well, I don't think the expectation is there that he's going to be like leading the team, though. I think this is more of a filling out the roster probably, which just seems odd because he was, one of our top players defensively while he was here. So it's I don't I'd be a little surprised if the expectations that he's going to come back and like anchor the team. I think he's more of a veteran presence and maybe a two or three, four guy, maybe even not necessarily expected to be like the top of the depth chart. So that I mean that's even takes him a lot of the pressure off too. So maybe he doesn't even have to be fully healthy, going 100% every time, but just being there and present, maybe all that they're expecting from it. If he can give more, then that's a great return. I think his contract value wasn't terribly high. I think it's a maxes out somewhere around 5 million for a
Hmm.
1 year deal, which seems like it's actually pretty reasonable, right? For what they
Yeah,
you know would be typically looking to a veteran corner would get in a contract with this time of year anyway. So yeah, it seems like it's a pretty good value for somebody that they're probably not expecting the world from, but maybe he can still give them that. So it's a nice upside, but not a lot of the floor is pretty high too. So that seems interesting. It's an interesting signing.
yeah, I think so too. We'll see what happens. Chiefs I still have time, to make other signings. Maybe they'll pick up a wide receiver. I think probably what we're expecting is maybe they'll pick up somebody in the wide receiver category. Maybe make a big one, trying to make one of the big splashes of, I don't know, Deebo Samuel or Tyreek Hill or Stephon Diggs are still out there. Keenan Allen still out there.
Yeah.
Some other lesser known guys are still going to be out there too. So. Uh, yeah, especially with Rasheed Rice's situation. I think did you see Rice? I think was going to be allowed to rehab his knee while he was in jail. There was going to be something that
Yeah,
um,
like he's going to be able to exit jail to do rehab, or like they're gonna send someone to rehab him while he's in jail.
I saw something about the court grants Rasheed Rice request for knee therapy while serving jail sentence. So there was a thing on one of the local stations
That's
said something.
interesting.
So
You think that that would maybe take some effort to figure out how legally to handle that though, wouldn't you guess? This can't be a common request for
hmm.
regular attendees in whatever jail he's going to be
Says
serving.
Rice's
So,
attorneys requested the Dallas County Sheriff's Department transport him to Parkland Hospital for treatment on his knee and move him from an isolated uh into an isolated cell, I guess.
um,
He's scheduled to be released on June 16th.
that's only in a week.
Yeah,
When was that report though? Is that
this was from
like is it this has already been happening then?
yeah,
He's been getting regular treatment.
I guess
He's been
or
like
some sort of
leaving the jail to go to a hospital like on
maybe,
a
maybe. Yeah.
maybe daily basis.
I don't know about daily basis, but maybe at least once or twice.
Yeah,
This was
yeah.
an article on June 2nd, according to KNBC 9 News.
So it's at least a week. So it's like for the last like week, and then the final week of his stay.
Yeah.
But this is a jail. This isn't a prison, too, right? There's a
Yeah, this is the county jail.
that's not as I assume not as much red tape to move someone from a county jail to a facility to a hospital than from a
Yeah,
like a
I don't know
prison
exactly
to a
what
hospital, right?
that means exactly, but yeah. So we'll see what happens with Rice and his knee. But he's out in a week, so that seems like there's plenty of time to rehab after that. And even if there's a little bit of a setback, you can kind of maybe catch up by the time training camp um, rolls around. So
Yeah.
uh, maybe good news on that front. And you'd probably say Rice probably wouldn't be gaining a lot of weight in jail with the food situation. Probably not the
Probably.
best. I don't
Probably
know.
not.
I don't know how much exercise will get, but yeah. Um, so we have that going on. Um,
Any other news in the NFL that you saw this last week? I didn't really see anything, I don't think, that I
Not
saw.
much. I didn't get much. I think we're kind of in the post OTA uh world right now. So we're just kind of waiting for mini camp
Pre-training
and
camp at most
training camp to
OTAs.
start. Yeah. Um I think I don't know, Brandon Ayuk wants to be traded, as which I think we knew.
Um,
But yeah, I don't know what else. Nothing super exciting.
I think maybe the biggest article I think I saw, I just was reminded of it just looking at this listing it here anyway, of headlines, is that uh, there's a competition for number one QB in Cleveland, Mike, and the two members that are the competition for number one are a little surprising with between Watson and Shedeur Sanders. Is that
Yeah, I think
no
this
mention of Dylan Gabriel, who they picked above Sanders.
standards. Yeah, I know it's what it seems like it's probably the least likable of the training camp battles. Like, so either you want Deshaun Watson and his situation come back, or you want Deion Sanders' annoying son to be the starter. Uh,
I mean, between those two, I'll take nepotism, I guess. But
Who did, and then the Browns picked another quarterback, didn't they, in the draft this year?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Somebody.
Why though? Why would they need another QB? Talon Green is listed as the fourth QB
Oh, yeah,
with the
Taylor
end of
Green. They
Arkansas.
picked him up from Arkansas.
Yeah, sixth round
Yeah,
pick. Yeah, that does seem odd. They pick up yet another QB, so they have four QBs, one for each quarter of each preseason game,
I guess
maybe.
so. Well, that's the Browns for you. They
Yeah,
also, yeah, of course, they traded away Miles Garrett last week to the
right.
Rams.
That's right. Yeah,
So we'll see what happens with I guess they're planning on rebuilding um, in Cleveland. Seems like it's a perpetual rebuild in Cleveland,
yeah.
but we'll see how it goes. Um, s- uh, should we move on to uh, the NBA?
Sure, that's
Speaking
good.
of Cleveland, who lost to the Knicks in the conference finals. Um, New York continued their winning ways early on. So they had won 1.13 straight playoff games. They defeated San Antonio twice in San Antonio. Uh, and then they lost last night in New York to the Spurs. So now they're up 2-1 going into game four on Wednesday. Uh, do you think the Knicks are still in good shape, or has the tide turned when with San Antonio's Game Three victory? Do you think San Antonio's finally figured out what's going on, how to attack the Knicks, or do you think the Knicks still uh, can write it out? Game four seems pretty important, I guess.
Well, I mean, the Knicks are more than capable of doing it. I've seen them win games that they've been behind by a long ways, and games they've been ahead by a long ways too. But yeah, I mean, just from the first couple of games, it really seems like like Victor Wembanyama wasn't quite at his best in the first two games at home in San Antonio, and then he was a little bit better, I think, in the third game, even though it wasn't at home. So maybe that may be. I mean, that looks like a trend more than anything else that was a trend so far. Just besides, the only thing we can see from the games really is that there's no home court advantage apparently because the road team has won all three games. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know what to expect from this series now, Mike. It was I was kind of thought maybe it was going to be a sweep then after the first two wins for the Knicks.
Hmm.
Now I really don't. Now I really am not sure anymore. So
Well, I had going in the Knicks in 6 games, and that's looking pretty good
yeah,
for me right now. I think especially
yeah,
if the Knicks win this game, game four at home, up 3-1, going back to San Antonio. San Antonio maybe taking 3-2, and then the Knicks taking uh, game six in New York 4-2. If that would be the ideal situation for my prediction, anyway.
yes.
Um, and I know the
So you would
yeah,
need
right.
them to win a home game and then win one of the road games, right? Oh no, wait. No, they do. Wait, what do they do for the NBA? Is it 2-2-1-1-1?
Two
Is it
two
two
one
three
one
two?
one. Yeah.
2-2-2-1-1-1?
2-2-1-1-1, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so they can just hold home and then they would win.
Yeah. They win. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because they still have 2 more games at home. Yeah.
right.
That would be at 6. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. Again, the games have been all been pretty competitive. Um, especially the last two games have been really close. Uh, of course, the last game was marred by some controversy with the attendance of President Trump, which led to the increased security and no outdoor viewing of the finals game as had been anticipated. And do you think that although maybe President Trump was a I guess Knicks fan, being from New York, do you think his attention on the team think that led to New York's Game 3 loss, or do you think it was something unrelated, just that San Antonio was finally maybe able to match up a little better in Game 3?
You could easily point to it as being a major distraction because even the players were disrupted by it. Kind of like they had to go through additional security even on their way in. So uh, you don't know, but I mean, if that disrupts their routine, then maybe that has an effect on the players themselves. And you don't know. I mean, it's supposed to be their home game, and then there's something else there that's causing a lot of noise that has nothing to do with the game. So maybe it has an effect on them, but you know, being up 2-0 after two road wins, then coming home and losing is not what you expect. And you could say the big difference there was the this added spectacle. It has nothing to do with the game. Like, so that's very easy to make that argument. Are you making that argument yourself too, or is that
I was just waiting for you to make the argument. I
yes?
don't I don't know one way or the other whether uh, the president's visit was actually had anything to do with the game itself or
Yeah,
not. Since the teams that played, they played two very close games in the first, the Knicks happened to win both of them. So maybe it's just time for the pendulum to swing just a little bit there, but it's going to be a competitive series, I think. So,
because well,
uh,
one of them was the first game was a 1 point game. I think it was a made free throw at the very end.
Game 2, I think Game 2 is one
That
point.
was game two.
Yeah, I think the Knicks won the first game, I think by 10.
Oh, but that
Uh,
was but they scored like the last 11 points of the game,
yeah,
right? It was
they were
only
down. Yeah, they were down in
yeah,
that one. They really came on at the end strong.
and they closed it out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So they'll hope
that
to
was
close
game. I was mixing up
games 1 and 2.
game
Yeah.
one and two. What actually happened in those games? Yeah.
Yeah. So we have that. We also have a very competitive NHL series, right? A finals series, Stanley Cup playoffs. Uh, Carolina right now down 2-1 to Las Vegas, but in Game 4, what's the score right now?
They are leading 4-3 with 1 minute to go in the third period at
Okay, so it's like
Vegas.
perhaps they're going to even the series
They're a minute away from tying the series, but
2-2.
there have been crazy events in like all of these games, like late in all of them so far. So
Yeah,
anything could still happen, I think.
it's been and each of the games have been very competitive, and yeah, lead changes and comebacks and uh, overtime. I think has happened at least once. Uh,
Oh, and Carolina has scored a late goal. Empty netter,
Up
55
five.
seconds to go. So now they're up 5-3
Yeah, they'll probably keep that thing.
inside of the minute now. Even after we started talking about just this game, a goal has been scored.
Yeah, it's been high scoring too. Yeah, it's I think at least 7 or 8 total goals in each of the games.
Yeah, and overtimes in two of the three games,
Yeah.
double overtime in one of those two.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean all the games have been competitive back and forth. Sometimes team has been a ways ahead, and then we get a brand new ball game situation. Your favorite scenario, Mike?
Brand new. Well, would you call it a brand new puck match?
You
Not
probably should call it that, but I'm not going to.
It's not a ball.
It's
Uh,
not a ball.
I guess it's technically it could be a game, I guess. Puck
It is a
game.
game, but hockey game.
Yeah. Puck
Yeah,
disc game.
One could call it then. Like I will not. You are welcome to.
Puck. Well,
And now it's down to 15 seconds with the two-goal lead. So it looks very much like it's going to be a tie.
tied
Brand
2-2.
new series, Mike.
And this was in Vegas too, I think, right? This game.
Yes.
So home ice hasn't been terribly kind to either team so far.
They've split their home games. Yeah,
So basically,
both.
it hasn't mattered too much.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 coin flip. Every game's a coin flip. Yeah.
Well, that makes it exciting. But yeah, so maybe this game, maybe it'll go to seven. It'll at least go to six. No.
Well, between the two warm weather teams,
Hmm.
opposite
Which
sides of the country, though. So
do the warm weather teams do better because now it's the weather is warming up elsewhere? It seems like because now it's June, it's gonna be warm, maybe just warm weather everywhere, um, even in the cold weather cities. Maybe the warm weather cities are more used to playing hockey in warmer weather, therefore they play in the playoffs a little better,
I don't know. I
and
mean,
the
the
weather
ice
gets
is
warmer.
still frozen, so it's
It still is, but I guess when you're outside, it doesn't seem quite as cold coming in, and you know.
yeah. I mean, they still keep the arena at the same temperature to
I
keep
mean,
the
it's
ice
the
frozen, I
ice
guess.
are
Right?
still the same temperature, but
Don't you think it would be more amusing though if they had to play on like a soupier
made
like
it
surface
hotter.
instead of a very, very frozen ice?
Yeah, I don't know.
It was a bit slushier, maybe a little soupier.
Maybe some teams keep it that way. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Well,
Slow it down just a little bit.
we have a good series going on in both the NBA and NHL. So we want to hope that the World Cup will be as uh, interesting and competitive as the NBA and NHL playoffs have been. World Cup starts on Thursday, June 11th, with I believe Mexico facing South Africa in the opening game, and then on Friday, the U.S. takes on its heated rival Paraguay in its opening match. Um,
In
do
Los
we
Angeles, I think.
think?
Is that right? Is that one that's in Inglewood?
I think it's in yeah, that's in SoFi Stadium.
SoFi.
Yeah. Do you want to make bets on who we think will win the World Cup? We can maybe we'll make bets right now on futures World Cup winners, and then we can when the knockout stages come along, we can make more bets at the knockout stage. But opening salvos, we can DraftKings has all the odds for the various teams from Spain at plus 450 all the way down to Haiti, Curacao, and Jordan at plus 250,000 on a $100 bet. Um, uh,
Those still don't seem like very good odds, Mike, for
I would say it's still those should be higher somehow.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, they're just kind of irrelevant. They're surprised they even like offer them because, like, why would you actually take those bets
yeah, it's just free money. It's free money if you bet it all.
for them
Good.
for the books? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. No, that seems crazy.
I don't think
Yeah,
any. Yeah, I wonder how many um, iterations of the World Cup, computer simulations they could run, and would Haiti win any of those? I don't see how, uh, barring
I mean, unless
what.
you have
Uh,
your odds, feeding into your simulation that everyone has even odds, then at least in some of the simulations, they would win.
yeah,
But that's not how these games are played.
no,
There's pretty heavy weighting, I believe, involved in simulating any individual game in soccer.
yeah, it seems insane that those because the you have to advance out of your group, so So which isn't I think any team could almost advance out of the group. Um,
But you
you
pretty
you
much have
get
to get
two and a
at
half
least
two and a half teams per
one,
group will advance. So
but you're gonna have to
32
get a win, right? Somebody's gonna have to win one game,
maybe I don't know if three ties might get you through.
maybe. But then like basically everyone's gonna be a tie in that group, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think you have to win, yeah, but they can steal a victory here, own goals, I guess. But then the harder part would be winning five consecutive matches in the knockout stage against increasingly
Right.
better opponents. I could see an upset here or there, but still, I think the best any of those teams could hope for is maybe a one win in the round of 32 if they make the round of 32, which is unlikely anyway. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Pretty
yeah,
solid if.
that's what I would say.
Man,
But I'm not so okay. But if you want to bet on Curacao, by all means, bet Curacao.
I don't think so, Mike. I'm not gonna take hers out.
No,
So in these type we if we do like futures bets, we've tended to make sure that we don't end up with the same picks. We've done usually kind of like a snake draft, four picks for futures picks at least.
yes,
So I think I won the coin toss and got to pick first.
yes.
I'm selecting Spain as my first.
Spain plus
We're each gonna
450.
pick two winners in this for this, I
Two
guess, right?
winners. Yes. So I have basically three teams that I think I want to pick among my next two. I like. Uh, I think it'd be dumb if I didn't pick France as one of my two.
With
So
one of the two, yeah.
I'm gonna pick France at plus 475 as
So the
my first pick. The other
the
two
two
teams I
sort of
was
shorter
thinking
odd teams were Spain and
shorter odds.
France.
Yeah, Spain and France, I think. The other two teams I was thinking of were either a fellow continental European power, Germany, plus 1400, or Brazil at plus 900. Brazil, of course, won the last cup on American soil in 1994. And I think they could do it again. They've had it's been a long drought for Brazil. I still think there's other short odds teams include Argentina, England, Portugal. I don't see either of those teams doing better than Brazil or Germany. I'm gonna pick Brazil over Germany though. I'd probably be happiest if Germany won, maybe because of my German ancestry. But I don't want to sleep on the Brazilians. So I'll pick Brazil and France, two of my teams that I'm not huge fans of, but I think maybe I'm picking more with my head than with my heart in these circumstances. So, because I'd like to see England do well as well, um, but I don't. Yeah, I think their odds are too low. So yeah, I'm going to do France plus 475, Brazil plus 900. How about your second pick? Are you going to go something longer odds, or are you going to go with one of the shorter
And I think
teams?
going a little longer and maybe an outsider pick in a maybe if instead of picking one of the perennial contenders, perennial winners, maybe I'll go outside of that even and maybe pick even a first time winner. Uh, in the Netherlands, Mike, I'm going to take the Netherlands at plus
Dutch.
2,000.
Plus 2000.
Dutch.
The Dutch have been three times runner up uh, in the World Cup. They've finished twice in a row runners up in the 1970s, 74 and 78, I believe, and then also the 2010 World Cup. I think they were runner up to Spain when Spain won its first and only so far World Cup. Um, so they have that going for them. So they're yeah, one of the historical powers of world football, as they say. But yeah, one always a bridesmaid, never a bride. or maybe always a group. Maybe in men's tournament, be always a groomsman, never a groom.
But is that actually a phrase, or is that?
No, it's not a
I
phrase,
don't
but
know
it's
that I've ever heard that as a phrase, but it seems like it should be a phrase because it's the equivalent of the
yeah,
bridesmaid bride, which
yeah,
is definitely a term that gets used. So no, that's no. Well, it is now.
yeah.
It now
And
is a phrase.
yeah, so we have that going for us. We'll see how that turns out. We have about a month's worth of games to be played in the United States, Canada, and Mexico, starting June 11th. And yeah, that'll be exciting to see. When is the World Cup final?
Ooh, that I did not look that far ahead.
July 19th. So June 11th through July 19th.
We during before our prep for this episode, we did look in at ticket prices, Mike. There are games being played not terribly far from either of us. It's a much shorter distance for me to go to a game than for you, but
Yes.
still drivable for you if you chose to go to a game. So it looks like ticket prices are somewhere for the early games, around a thousand to $1,500 a ticket. Mike, are you going out of your way, drive to Philly, go to a game?
No, I don't think so. I don't think I'll have time. I'm not
No.
taking any time off of work between in the next month, so I'll just have to watch the games as they come along on
Will you
television like the rest of us.
will you be trying to peek in on games like on your phone, like during court sessions, just to see what's happening in the World Cup games?
If I have to, I
No,
might. I'm not sure when the U.S.'s first game I think is at. What time is there
I just had that up.
on the 12th? It's at 9 p.m. Eastern time, so
Should not interfere with your work
should I
day,
interfere that?
but it
No, but it
might
might interfere with my
interfere
work day the next
with
day if
your
I have to
sleep
stay up.
schedule or your yes subsequent work day.
Although, yeah, this doesn't really interfere any more than the Warning Check Power Hour does on Tuesday nights when we stay up frequently past 11. It's 11:05 currently Eastern time as we're recording this episode. But yeah, so with the World Cup to look forward to,
Well, the U.S. game's on Friday though, so it's not.
it's a Friday. It's a Friday night. Yeah, so I don't have
It
anything to
won't.
worry
It
about.
won't affect your work day. No work on Saturday for you.
No work on Saturday.
You're okay.
It's perfect.
Yeah,
It will affect European watch schedules. They'd have to stay up very late
for
to
sure.
watch those games. But
Yeah, nine p.m. Eastern time would be a 1 a.m., 2 a.m.
I think 2
European
a.m.,
time, depending on where you are in Europe.
5 hours to Britain. I think 6 hours to rest of the continent or much of the
Eastern Europe,
continent.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
It'll be two to 3 a.m. somewhere
yeah. But it's a
wherever
Friday
you are in
night,
Europe.
so staying up late. Um,
It's not great. The pubs may still be open at the start of the games.
but it's a good time for, I guess, Paraguayan and American audiences because they would be up
Yes.
in normal time zones.
Yes.
So we have that to look forward to this week. We also have we're in the midst of Major League Baseball's regular season, and the Royals have started to show a few signs of life. They've won, I believe, six of their last 8 games,
Eight,
nine
yeah,
games,
6 of 8, yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, they were
And
five
are
and
no
two to
longer the
end the road
worst
trip.
team. Are no longer the worst team in the league. Uh,
Yes.
They have gotten within 8 games, I guess 8 games exactly of the Cleveland Guardians. So they were down, I think 11 and a half, maybe 11, 11 and a half games. So now only 8 games behind Cleveland, 28 and 39. They've won 3 in a row. Cleveland has lost 3 in a row. So the Royals won again 5-3 over Texas tonight, showing uh, a great showing by Jac Caglianone. 2 home runs, got on base a couple other times. Uh,
Drew a walk, an infield hit, stole a base, drove in three. Yeah, filled up the scoring sheet for sure.
yeah, now he's yeah, almost up there with Bobby Witt Jr. in terms of on base percentage and slugging percentage. Batting average almost is catching up too. He's hitting 261 now. Bobby Witt has kind of come down lately. Uh, he's down to 277 on the year. So he was close to 300 much earlier in the year. Now he's down to 277. Hopefully he can turn things around and get his batting average back on track.
Seems like
But
he may be.
he had a brief injury scare
Yeah.
against Minnesota their last game. He sat out because of knee soreness. So hopefully his knees all right.
Well, I think he came out a little bit early because they were ahead by enough that they weren't concerned. I think is what it was. And he wasn't. It wasn't like an. I don't think anything actually happened during the game. It was just like a his knee has been sore, so they found an opportunity to try to get him some extra rest. But then that game got scary though at the end. They managed to hold on, but they had like a 6-1 lead, and they brought in Beck Way to make his major league debut.
Beckway.
Were you following that game at all?
A little bit. Yeah, I remember you were following it, and I followed it from your following. So I was
That was a rough
also
one, Mike. That was
vicariously following.
not a great look.
No,
Well,
but
having to
yeah,
wait 4 years for a prospect that they traded for to pay off, and then his debut was not good.
not
Maybe
good.
the polite
But
version.
yeah, but they're playing better as of late. So maybe they can
Yeah.
keep this momentum going. Uh, they can at least make their way back into, if they can by the end of June, if they can get within 4 or 5 games of first place, maybe they still have a chance at the playoffs. It's unlikely, but maybe. Um,
I think the other thing that may help though is that the other team that we're kind of expecting to be front runners in the division is Detroit, and they're
right, and they're even worse than the Royals. So
in a similar position with Kansas City, and down near the bottom of the division, and but it does seem like Tariq Skubal is close to returning there, which he's been out for several weeks. So there's a chance that he'll be back. He only pitches once every 5 days, so if he does make it back, it's not like a guarantee that they're gonna like jump right up the standings, but it might help balance them a bit to make them more competitive. But I don't know that you should expect them to rocket back to the top of the division. One starter, Mike. Is that your expectation?
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, the Royals right now are only 4.5 games out of a wild card spot as well. So they're also benefiting from the other divisions in the American League not being very good either. Uh, so the Blue Jays right now are 33 and 35, are holding the third wild card position. Um,
Crazy.
Tied with the Rangers is 32 and 34 now. Um, so the Royals are is it within 4.5 of um, the third wild card. So if they get hot and none of the other teams stay cold, yeah, maybe they can sneak back into contention that way.
You definitely don't expect to see the White Sox being in the second wild card position, though.
No, and they're 3 games clear of the third team, so they're sitting pretty right now. They're
Shocking.
actually they're only a half game behind Cleveland in the division, and they're I believe, the only team with a plus run differential in the Central Division as well. So Um, maybe they're the team to beat this year.
Yeah, it certainly does seem like a down year for the American League as a at least as the average team in the American League doesn't seem to be very good this season.
No, no, I don't know what's going on. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
'cause
yeah,
we have two
maybe it's
teams over 600 winning percentage.
maybe
And
it's the competitive balance shifted to the National League because teams are trying to compete with the Dodgers. Um,
yeah, yeah, there's one team in each division over 600. Braves are well over 600 win percentage.
yeah,
But yeah, in the AL, it's the two teams that are over 600 are in the same division.
yes, both the
So
Rays and the Yankees tied currently for the lead in the American League East. So we'll see how that shapes up as time goes on. See if the Royals can make their way back into the playoffs. Um, Speaking of New York, the Belmont Stakes were run, and we had a repeat winner. The winner of the Kentucky Derby, Golden Tempo, won the Belmont Stakes. So Golden Tempo won two of the three legs of the Triple Crown, but by not competing in the Preakness, it couldn't win. He couldn't win um, the Triple Crown. Do you think it was a mistake for Golden Temple not to run in the Preakness, or was he better? Was he able to win the Belmont because he didn't win because he didn't run in the Preakness?
well, that's we'll never know. This is the same kind of question with the Knicks game three situation, but it has been a trend though, seemingly for horses that win the Derby to take or win or even compete really in the Derby to take off the Preakness. So that's not really what you want to see for the sport because we want the Triple Crown contender to be there, and it's if you win races one and three and load management in the middle, that's not a great look. It's no fun too for the fans. And
Yeah,
why you have to wonder too though, like does that lower the value of the horses? Because that's usually what this ends up being about is what the value for the owners of the horses too, right? Like they're looking to like increase the value for by showing winnings to like, make future horses, right? Isn't that what this is mostly about?
yes, make future horses stud fees.
Yeah. Do you think that winning 2 or 3 is enough increase in
Yeah,
value that I mean
I,
the owners must be okay with it because that's what they're
yeah.
doing.
Well, I think probably they're also trying to stay healthy for Breeders' Cup, other big races down short. As the summer goes on, there's still big races to be won, perhaps
Hmm.
that aren't Triple Crown races. So, um, yeah,
There are
I
other races, Mike. I thought those were it. I thought
other
those
races. There are.
three.
Those are yeah. They're known to fans of horse racing. We are only the casualest of casual fans. Um, when it comes to playing the ponies,
Yeah,
we don't have the green visors or the racing forms tucked under our arms as
we
like
should though. I think that should be.
perhaps we should. We should go back to the 1940s into the golden age of sports when the three kings of American sports were boxing, horse racing, and baseball. When
Yeah,
I think and horse racing could be argued to be number one, even above boxing and baseball. Baseball may have been number three at that point.
well, remember when they did those like top 100 athletes of the century, and there were some horses on the
Yeah,
list, and then some
Terry
people were
Parrott
really
was on
upset
there.
at.
Yeah,
Well, historically, the horses were as big, having fans, I guess, really, and being read about. The most words were being spent in the now mostly defunct newspaper industry.
Yeah.
On we're being spent on horses and boxers, and not so much in today's media. Definitely not on paper. Matt,
No, I'd like to. Would you like to see boxing and horse racing take off again in
I'd
sports?
be okay with that. I think it's much easier to like see like who wins. Like it's if as long as if we're talking about boxing, as long as there's like they figure out how to like clean out some of the corruption side of it, which I don't know that we've ever really had it be like that. But there's not, at least in our modern era. I think most people have like a distrust of the boxing
Yeah,
industry as a
I
sport
think,
because
I
there's
think
so many different belts in different organizations, and no
yeah,
one really seems to trust any of it though. So I don't know.
I think boxing still can be is still you can still see how big it is when there are a couple big fights because even though I think UFC is more popular than
Yeah.
boxing right now, I think the biggest boxing matches are more popular than the biggest UFC fights. Um, so like if Canelo, Alvarez or Floyd Mayweather or somebody like that is in a um, boxing, uh, match, it still I think
It's
attracts a little bit more attention. Even like that like the Logan Paul, Mike Tyson,
yeah,
that
sort of
was
gimmicky,
gimmicky,
high
but it's still
stakes.
I
Yeah.
think it got more that than I think the equivalent UFC
Like
match.
number of eyeballs on an event.
Yeah.
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 But I don't know. I mean, I don't even know who the top boxers are right now. It's like Floyd Mayweather, he's been retired for a while now, hasn't he? Uh, Canelo Alvarez, I'm aware of him.
I guess it was Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, wasn't it? It wasn't Logan Paul.
Oh, yeah, Jake Paul. Yeah, whatever.
I get them confused because they're
Yeah,
both doofuses.
whichever Paul.
Yeah.
Who cares, really? I mean, we don't, but maybe somebody does, but
What
that's
was
not for
Logan
us to.
Paul? Did he fight Floyd Mayweather? Was that Mayweather with Logan Paul?
I think it's always the same. Isn't it always Jake?
No, Logan Paul was Mayweather.
Uh, See, I don't even know.
That was 2021, Logan Paul.
He had like some terrible match not that long ago, didn't he? One of the whichever Paul.
Yeah, something. Yeah, I don't remember. Anyway,
Well,
we've I think exhausted uh our topics for today at the Morning Trek Power Hour. Should we wrap it up
yes, mercifully.
mercifully? Put it out of its misery, just like uh, a boxer still on his last legs,
Yes.
knocking out. You
Just
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 count it
just end
out,
it.
end it,
Yes.
end the fight. We're throwing the towel,
Yes.
as they say.
From the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll throw in the towel here on tonight's episode of the Winter Power, but not on the Winter Power Hour in total. We'll end it tonight. Um, uh, I am Dr. Michael Werman. He's Dr. Andrew Scaff. We are the Warning Trek Power Hour. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel or our podcast, available on many different podcast delivery platforms. We appreciate your patronage, your listenership, your viewership. We'll be back next week to talk even more about the NFL, Chiefs news, Major League Baseball and Royals news, but especially we'll be talking about perhaps the conclusions of the NBA and NHL finals and the beginnings of the World Cup. So we have all those things looking forward to. Next week, we might even include some of our patented pop culture discussions if the conversation veers that way on its own volition. So we'll see how that uh, see how that goes. We have all those things to look forward to next week, and we wish you the best of luck this week. If you're making bets, as long as your interests do not conflict with ours, and really they don't because we just picked favorites for the World Cup. You can pick whoever you want. Again, we wouldn't recommend you picking Curacao or Haiti or Jordan. Of those three, Curacao, Haiti, and Jordan, the three lowest odds plus was it plus 250,000? Plus 250,000. Who do you think Haiti, Curacao, or Jordan has the best shot at winning the World Cup?
I think maybe I think you take an over under of 1/2 victory combined between those three.
Over under 1/2?
Yes.
I'm gonna pick hmm. Does a tie count as a half a victory? That's the question.
No, it is not. Win. It has to be a straight win to get
Straight
over the one
win.
half. A tie
I'm
counts
gonna
as 0 wins.
tie counts as 0 wins. Okay. I'm gonna go under then.
Yeah, that's what you probably should pick. Yeah. It'd be fun if one of them did come up with a victory.
Yeah.
Who do you think the longest odds to win the World Cup uh, will be to win a game, though? You think there'll be somebody that far removed from the expectation of winning the World Cup to actually take a win in these games, or
Oh,
they'll
I think
mostly be drubbed out without wins?
I think Panama at plus 100,000 could get a win. They've done that before in the World Cup. I think have won games.
Yeah.
Uh, I think of the teams that can possibly win the whole thing, I think we can go maybe to plus 8 or 9,000 even. Because Croatia is on there at plus 9,000. Croatia has finished runner up, I believe, in two consecutive World Cups. Uh, last couple years, couple World Cups ago. So
Yeah.
maybe they could come in USA plus 6,000, Morocco plus 5,000. I like Norway plus 3,000 because Norway has two of the best players in the world on their team, including Irving Holland, uh, who scores the most goals. So maybe I could see Norway making a sneaky
Hmm.
move, even though if they could if you score enough goals, you can win. Uh, so, but probably not. I'd say probably one of the uh, there's probably one probably 8 teams that really have a good chance at winning it, and we picked 4 of those 8 teams already. So
Yeah. It's most likely the winner is going to come from that
I'd say it's
final
either one
six.
of the European powers or possibly Argentina or Brazil. That's
Yeah. Pretty much the set
yeah.
of potential winners. It's unlikely to come from really outside that. If it does, then it'll be a surprise and probably make the World Cup more fun for casual viewers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so well, we have that to look forward to next week. In the weeks after, we have the World Cup coming along. So we'll be back next week with another exciting, jam-packed episode of the One Trick Power Hour. So be on the lookout for that. And we wish you the best of luck this week in making your bets. And we wish you all, from us here at the One Trick Power Hour, we wish you a good day.